On July 31st, Dr. Monarez was sworn in as our nation's first Senate-confirmed director of the CDC. At a swearing-in ceremony, Secretary Kennedy said, and I quote, "Dr. Monarez is a public health expert with unimpeachable scientific credentials. I have full confidence in her ability to restore the CDC's role as the most trusted authority in public health and to strengthen our nation's readiness to confront infectious diseases and biosecurity threats," end quote. That was what Secretary Kennedy said on July 31st. On August 27th, less than a month later, Dr. Monarez was fired. Why was that? Well, according to Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Monarez, who has spent nearly 2 decades as a public service working in both Democratic and Republican administrations, he said that she is, quote, a liar, end quote, and is, quote, untrustworthy, end quote. Liar and untrustworthy. Really? How did Dr. Monarez go from being a public health expert with unimpeachable scientific credentials, who had the full confidence of Secretary Kennedy, into being a liar and untrustworthy in less than a month? That is quite a transformation. Well, I think the answer is fairly obvious. Dr. Monarez was fired because she refused to act as a rubber stamp to implement Secretary Kennedy's dangerous agenda to substantially limit the use of safe and effective vaccines that would endanger the lives of the American people and people throughout the world. Specifically, she was fired for 2 reasons. Number 1, listen to this. She refused to, quote unquote, pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric, end quote. In other words, and this is quite important, she took the radical position that she wanted to examine the scientific facts before drawing conclusions. I would hope that that is the very least we could expect from any public health official in the United States. And number 2, reason why she was fired, she refused to get rid of career scientists for doing their jobs, including Dr. Howry, who was then the chief medical officer at the CDC. Bottom line, Dr. Monarez stood up for science, for public health, and for the scientific method. Frankly, she stood up for protecting the well-being of the American people, and for that reason, she was fired. But, Mr. Chairman, let us be clear. This hearing is not just about determining why Dr. Monarez was fired and why Dr. Howry and other scientists at the CDC resigned. The issue is deeper than that. It is about Secretary Kennedy's dangerous war on science, public health, and the truth itself. Unacceptably, we now have an HHS secretary who does not believe in established science and who listens to conspiracy theorists and ideologues rather than doctors and medical professionals. It is absurd to have to say this in the year 2025, but vaccines are safe and effective. That, of course, is not just my view. Far more importantly, it is the overwhelming consensus of the medical and scientific communities. It's not what we believe. It's what the scientific and medical communities believe. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the country's largest professional association of pediatricians, representing over 67,000 doctors. Those are the doctors we take our kids to. What do they say? They say that one of the greatest public health achievements is the vaccine, which prevents tens of thousands of deaths and millions of cases of disease. That's our pediatricians. The American Medical Association, representing over 270,000 doctors, they say that vaccines are the best tool to protect the public health against illnesses and their potentially serious complications. World Health Organization, Virtually every medical organization, every scientific organizations, the people who we trust, tell us that vaccines are safe and effective. Mr. Chairman, you will well recall, as other members of the panel, that several years ago when I sat where you sat, you recall that we had the heads of the major agencies talking about pandemic preparedness. How well will we be prepared for a future pandemic? We had, I believe, 5 agency heads. And we all asked them, you tell me, will there be another pandemic in the future? And they all said, well, no one knows what it will be, no one knows when it will come, but the likelihood is there will be another pandemic. And the next question that some of us asked is, tell us, are we prepared for that, God forbid, terrible event? Without exception, Mr. Chairman, you recall, they all said, no, we're not prepared, we're not prepared. So it is not just, what's going on now is not only endangering the health and well-being of our children. Are we prepared for the next pandemic, which could claim millions of lives? Are we doing the scientific research to develop the vaccines, the other tools that we need? And that is what frightens me. So Dr. Monarez, Dr. Harry, thank you very much for being with us. We look forward to hearing your testimony.
Thank you. To begin,